Okay, so basically, the whole point of Zerofuse's neutral here is to kind of use a whole bunch of bullets in a kind of autopilot in an attempt to analyze the opponent's movement patterns and blocking patterns to better determine when to use melees to catch out the grazing of said bullets. This finally happened after a lot of neutral. And that is a misinput, it is a buffer, it sucks, it happens, that just happens. This is a tournament, and you cannot afford mercy. If your opponent does something stupid, you should capitalize on it. Now, let's take a look at this. This is the hardest combo for Reisen mains to learn. And if you learn this, you're basically halfway to being Blazedragon already. Blocking is hard. Border escaping effectively is even harder. Zerofuse did something very fantastic here and timed and buffered that border escape to dodge the crush string with the 4 card that Blaze was attempting. And also, that's the thumbnail. Let's talk a little bit about Reisen's Jade and how absolutely ridiculous it is. It has such a large hitbox that you can use it to basically get any air tech, even if somebody is really close to the health bar, like Zerofuse is here. What a ridiculous move, honestly. It's one of the reasons why Reisen's air pressure is so strong and why she's such a high tier character to begin with. And another great pressure string from Blaze. It's what he's known for. He snowballs games in a very effective way, and one of the ways he does this is by these regent pressure strings. And he combos and converts off of them excellently. Zerofuse is having none of it here, and elects to go with the Emerald City DP to get out of pressure, which is a perfectly valid approach if somebody is using staggered pressure like that. Though it's kind of hard to input off of something like that because you can't really buffer it well. And it is safe to say that Zerofuse excellently timed his melees in neutral there, and it led him to win the first game. This is another thing that Blaze is really well known for, is just converting off of everything into a full combo and using that to start Hizoki Zemi. I'm very interested to see how he plays this one out. So this is something that is a little bit of an awkward situation. I can't really anticipate that either player is really wanting to be in Typhoon right now. So both of them are kind of just trying to hit each other to get out of it. But Typhoon is definitely going to happen. I don't see any way of this not happening. So, this is something that happens in Typhoon. At the end of Typhoon, you generally want to start some kind of meaty bullet that is going to take a while and will guarantee that you get the first hit out of Typhoon. Because if you have something going and Typhoon ends, that block stun will hit on the first hit out of Typhoon. So a move like Flamethrower, the alt 236 from Pathcy, is actually very excellently used here, along with the conversion into the spell card. Very effective way of ending Typhoon. That was a really good pressure into a catch of the Border Escape into the spell card in Drizzle. That was just a really, really cool play by Blaze. Oh my god, that was the longest neutral I've ever seen. That was such a fantastic use of maneuverability from both Blaze and Zerofuse here. It's just marvel to see how both of these players can adapt to each other's maneuverability. I don't know if you saw earlier, but Zerofuse was going for a J6A catch that would have worked had Blazedragon not immediately adapted to it and dodged it excellently. That's a really easy conversion, and I think that people should be doing it more often. I see too many Raisins dropping combos when they could be just doing the easy conversions that don't do as much damage, but will guarantee you a knockdown. Now, let's take a second to really discuss why Blaze won. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I would say that both of these players had an equal amount of hits. It's just that Blazes did a lot more damage because he was hitting off of conversions, whereas Zerofuse was hitting off of more like random spell hits. That's ultimately what matters at the end of the day. If you do more damage to your enemy than they do to you, you will win. You just have to reduce their HP to 0 by any means necessary, and that's what Blaze did this game. So look at what Zerofuse is doing here and what both of these players are doing. They're dodging to the ground. They're saving one air dash to get back to the ground because it resets their air dash. Something that you can do as a new player is dash twice in the air. And if you do that, you're kind of a sitting duck. You limit your options quite a bit. However, if you are going to the ground and dashing and doing stuff like that, you are going to make your neutral presence a lot more ambiguous, which will allow for a lot more opportunity and a lot more vagueness in what you can do and what your opponent will expect you to do. In this instance, dodging to the ground a whole bunch and using spells in the ground will give Blaze the opportunity to use his default 214, which is a laser. Lasers are important because they will hit an area instantly, and they will do a whole bunch of meaty bullet stuff. In this instance, it was a very effective catch for Zerofuse's attempted J6C. So, in case you wondered why nothing was really happening in that weather, it's because River Mist makes it functionally impossible to combo off of anything. So both players are basically just trying to use bullets to hit the other player out in neutral. This also is kind of similar to in Street Fighter when you just kind of use moves randomly to build meter. That's effectively what both of these players are doing. In River Mist, you can just kind of throw bullets out without the fear of getting rushed down, because River Mist will make no pressure stick. So, fun fact about this little combo that Zerofuse does off of 6-6B. It ends the same way, it just depends on what skill you have. In this case, we have the alt 421, but every single combo ender, it just ends with 421. So Patchouli basically has 3 skills. One of them is the default. It's these little red, it's like a Dew City or something, and it will throw the little pink shards up and then they'll fall later. The other one, this one, Emerald City, it's the DP. It gives you an ender that is quite effective. It throws your opponent up into the air, into the HP bars, and gives you a lot of time to Okizeme. Okizeme is just the act of setting up an attack for when your opponent wakes up. Because they're standing up, you can buffer an attack to hit them as soon as they land, as soon as they wake up, rather. And that will give you frame advantage because they can't use an attack if they're on the ground. The other one that Zerofuse is not using is Diamond Hardness. You also use that. You end the ender with the exact same input basically, and it doesn't matter what the skill is, and I think that's pretty cool. I want to talk about this defensive technique. So last video I talked about the walk under your opponent and catch them out and then combo them. This is a similar thing. Crouching is so underrated by newer players, and it is so absolutely important to learn how to do. If you crouch when your opponent is going to drop down on you, it might not seem like the first thing to do because, air hits are always going to hit high. If you crouch, they're going to wrong block and you're going to take spirit damage. However, if you crouch, you will give yourself a better hitbox. So you might make them whiff, and at that point you can do a combo, just like we see here. I want to talk about the 6-6B combo just one more time, because it feels so bad to get hit by this, because you're just getting juggled effectively. It has so much untech on it. Untech is just the statistic on a move that dictates how long you wait until you can air tech, which is jumping out of a combo. You either limit, or you can air tech out, or you get knocked down. And this move, the 6-6B from Patchouli, just has a ton of untech on it. So, that was really cool to watch. Zerofuse ended that with a perfect, and honestly, that was one of the most well-deserved victories I've ever seen. Blazedragon got his face mushed into the dirt. I really must say he got annihilated by Emerald City and Zerofuse's prowess that game. And a very well-deserved congratulations to Zerofuse for that set. It was fantastic to watch.